Hello, team players. I've got my final build in Ultimate Army Party today. Today we're building a wizard. More specifically, a War Mage wizard. Let's dive in. For today's Ancestry, we're going with the Elf. Elf will give us huge mobility, which is very important for this build. And we're going with the Dragon Blood Heritage. It really doesn't matter what dragon we pick here, because we want it for flight. We want to be able to fly without using spells, so we can save our fly spell for our other party members. As then we don't have to prepare as many fly spells if we need to fly somewhere. Plus, flight will also allow us to use our area spells out of reach of melee enemies, which is very important. This build most definitely can be in melee, but it prefers to use area spells. For our Ancestry feat, we're going with Nimble Elf. That just gives us 5 feet more speed, so we have a speed of 35 rather than 30. For our attributes, obviously intelligence is going to be our most important. We want that high spell DC and spell attack rolls for when we're in melee combat. And next important is strength. After all, we're not going to need as much dex since we wear medium armor. Dex is important though. We need at least a little dex so we can have more defense, since we're going to have low HP, even with the next attribute we're going to need, which is Con. After all, the more HP we have, the better. For skills, Warfare Lore is going to automatically go up for us, so that's good. And we're also going to need as many recall knowledge skills as we can get, particularly the intelligence-based ones, like Arcana, Occultism, Society. But that's all you're really going to need. Other than that, pick what you want. As a War Mage, we have to choose the School of Battle Magic, and we don't get an Arcane Thesis or an Arcane Bond. We do get the War Magic ability, allowing us to swap out any of our spells for Sure Strike. We also get Shield Block, which we will want to use the shield spell, as well as an actual shield. That's going to be important for a feat we're going to take later. Of course, at level 2, we have to take our War Mage dedication. This allows us to push enemies around with our spells, like say, into the Necrosinger's Horde, or close to Hazard. We can't push them into the Hazard, but our Ancient Guardian most definitely can. And that'll make it heck of a easier for him to do that. We also get additional lore for Warfare Lore, which is how that's going to go up as we level. At level 3, we're definitely taking toughness. We need as much hit points as we can get, because we're a melee wizard. And we don't need to take Canny Acumen, because we're just going to become an expert in reflex saves at level 5 anyway. So, we may as well wait on Canny Acumen. But those hit points are definitely important for this build. At level 4, we're going to take Spell Shield Reinforcement. This allows us to use the shield spell on allies, using our actual shield as a focus. We don't really need the shield spell for ourselves, but we do need it for our allies. More AC for our allies is always good. Even someone like a Guardian, because in Pathfinder 2e, AC is not about not getting hit, it's about not getting critically hit. So the more AC our allies have, the better. At level 5, we'll take Dragon's Flight, allowing us to fly for a short amount of time. Granted, like I said, we don't want to have to use the fly spell on ourselves. We want to save it for our allies. And this will allow us to fly even without that spell. So we can use that slot for something else, like an area spell, for example. Granted, we still want the fly spell so that our allies can fly, but we don't have to cast it on ourselves. At level 6, we have Intimidating Spell. This is a spell shape that allows our area spells to frighten enemies, which of course not only lowers their saving throws against our next spell we throw out, but it also lowers their AC for our allies. It also makes it harder for them to attack us, or any of our allies. Frightened is one of the best conditions in this entire game, and will definitely help this build a lot more than you think. At level 7, Die Hard is always good. Dying 5 rather than dying 4, come on, of course we're taking this. At level 8, we're going to take Shielding Formation. This allows us to give all of our allies near us an AC bonus. And they can end the bonus as a reaction to gain resistance to all damage against one instance of damage. Unlike other forms of resistance, this does include force damage. It is only one instance of damage, but it's any damage, period. So this is a very good defensive feat. At level 9, we'll take True Dragon's Flight. Now we have flight all the time instead of just for a little while. So now we never have to worry about being able to fly, and we can be up in the air above melee enemies casting area spells. At level 10, we'll take Bespell Strikes. We're going to become expert in medium armor next level, which means that we're going to be able to be in melee quite a bit now. And this allows us to cast a spell and then do more damage with our melee strikes. So we can do a touch spell and hit them with our reach weapon, which is the weapon we want to be using in this build. We want to be using reach weapons so that we don't have to be right next to enemies to hit them. At level 11, we'll take Incredible Initiative. We want to go before the Guardian, so we don't hit him with our area spells. And going before enemies is always great. Our other two party members are ranged, so we don't have to worry about hitting them, and we don't have to worry about hitting the Necrosinger's Horde, because the Necrosinger can just summon it again. So it's a very important general feat that we take here. At level 12, we're going to take Arcana of Iron. This gives us access to advanced weapons, which means we have access to better reach weapons, and we do more damage with our Bespell weapon. So being in melee is definitely worth it for us, especially since we're using reach weapons here. For our level 13 Ancestry feat, we're going to go with Elf Step. Now we can step 10 feet instead of 5, which will help us get out of sticky situations. After all, we're going to be in melee. That means we need to be able to get out of melee combat if we're low on health without triggering reactions. And being able to step 10 feet rather than 5 will definitely help us do that, and still allow us to hit enemies with our reach weapon. At level 14, we're going to take steady spellcasting. We need to be able to use touch spells when we're in melee combat. So even if we are in reach of a melee enemy, we don't have to worry about our spells being disrupted as much. At level 15, we'll finally take Arcane Acumen for our reflex saves. After all, we're not going to get master and reflex saves without this feat, and our dex is going to be low. So this will make it so that our reflex save is actually our highest save, because our wisdom isn't near as important as our dexterity. For free archetype, there's a few that help here. First, if you want better defense, then you can go with the Bastion or the Sentinel archetype, as that will either make you better with your shield or give you heavy armor. You will have to lower your dex though if you want heavy armor. If you want more spells, go with Witch, as Witch goes off intelligence just like Wizard does. And finally, you could go Martial for this build if you've got good charisma. You're not going to need good charisma, but if you have it, those Martial stances are going to help a lot with this build. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and leave me a comment either here or on my Discord server. Or you can just tear my build apart. I'm not perfect. If you want some of my videos early, or you want a path builder for this build, or any of my other builds, you can check out my Patreon page. And of course, I do have a second channel for my Starfinder content, so make sure you check that out. Links to all of those are in the description below. I have a special collaboration video coming later this week, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And if you want a Guardian build, you can check out this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, teamwork is vital. It helps us solve problems.